Yes!
We're live! We're live!
We're live! We are live! We are live! It is...
Dude, Mantz, are you working out?
Oh.
Hey, man. I've always had the gun show, okay? Perri,
Wow.
I thought you were just a runner.
Perri and Jeff, I got to tell you, I'm so happy. I feel like my life is complete when we get together and do our thing, no matter where it is.
Yes.
The best conversation, the most passionate, the most engaging and fun and informative. You got Mantz and Perri, and then you got the contrarian, Jeff Sneider.
The great contrarian.
I love it.
I missed you this past week in Park City, though.
Oh,
I missed that too. Mantz, did you get a phone call from anyone before we started recording this?
I did not. Why?
Because I'm allowed to say that FYC will return beginning next week.
Yes!
Okay.
Oh, that is
There it is.
fantastic news.
We're here tonight, but next week go back over to the Collider Video YouTube channel and catch us there.
So what you are saying, Paranormal Activity, is that we're back, like really back again.
We're starting off next week.
We are back.
to look forward to.
Collider FYC is officially back starting next Wednesday with the mighty trio right here. Oh, this is the best news in the world. Woohoo!
Now we got some categories to get to, because what we're doing here tonight is we're reacting to all the Golden Globe nominations, or at least just the film ones. And you should go check out everything that Adam Chitwood wrote up on Collider.com, like this list of nominations I'm about to go through. All right.
Go through it, yeah.
Let's kick it off with Best Motion Picture Drama. We've got The Father, Mank, Nomadland, Promising Young Woman, and The Trial of the Chicago 7. What you think?
Okay, well, I got to say that of all the film categories, this is the film category that I had the biggest problem with. First of all, you have so many great movies this year featuring ensemble. They were ensemble casts, Black-led ensemble casts, and they were shut out of Best Picture Drama. Now, first of all, I'm all for Nomadland. I'm all for Trial Chicago 7. But Mank, I think, is an overrated movie. I love Citizen Kane, and I love movies about movies, but even I felt like this was too inside baseball. The Father, I think, is a very good film, but I think it's very showy and more about Anthony Hopkins' performance, and he was nominated elsewhere. And Promising Young Woman, I actually do think it deserves to be nominated for Best Picture, but the fact that One Night in Miami was not nominated, the fact that Ma Rainey's Black Bottom was not nominated for Best Picture, I'm not down with that.
You know what was the most obvious thing in the world, though?
What's that?
The HFPA went nuts over Mank. Even though I don't think it deserves to be in most of these categories, they were going to go crazy nominating.
The Academy is going to go for it too, okay? Because it's the same thing as The Irishman. That contingent will always be there. It's not going to win anything. I don't think we have to worry about that at all. It's going to get blanked.
I'm still thinking that the Mank energy is going to fizzle. I think it's going to get some nominations, but I think it's going to fizzle out the closer we get to Oscar nominations.
You know what? That's a really good point. First of all, I want to go back to, Jeff. I remember it was maybe it was a couple weeks after Mank first premiered on Netflix. You posted something on Facebook, and I just remember because, when I saw Mank, I thought, was I tired? I mean, did it sort of lose something in the jump from the big screen to the small screen? What am I not getting here? And again, I love Citizen Kane, and I love movies about movies. Why am I not connecting? Why do I think that this is one of David Fincher's worst movies? And then Jeff posted something, and I went, okay, thank God it's not just me.
No, it's not just you. I mean, the movie is going to have its fans. it's everything that you could want, right, in a contender on paper. Then we saw the movie, and it was very disappointing. But I wasn't surprised that it got a nomination today.
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised about The Father. Now, I haven't seen The Father, so I can't speak to the quality of that. I know people have been talking about it for the last year, it seems like.
Yeah.
But I was surprised to not see Ma Rainey or One Night in Miami, or even, not that I ever thought this was going to happen, but Sound of Metal slipping in there. But One Night in Miami is the big one, considering Regina King got a directing nomination.
Yeah, I'm right there with both of you. I do love The Father. I think that is an excellent film. And it's actually hard to say I love it because I forget where I was last talking about it, but I called it the scariest movie that I saw in 2020. And like I mean that completely seriously. It's not a joke. And it's because it was so incredibly effective at what it was trying to do. So I think it does deserve the spot. The biggest surprise here for me was Promising Young Woman. I didn't expect to see so much love for it here and also in the directing category as well. But it's like, I look at that list and I look at my predictions on Gold Derby, and I had Ma Rainey in Promising Young Woman's spot, which I also would have been happy if that got nominated. I feel like it should have, just like you guys.
Yeah. And I gotta say, we were all at Sundance last year. We all saw Promising Young Woman at Sundance. And I listen, Perri, I agree with you. I so agree about The Father being such a good movie, but I just felt like even as good as it is, as well as it's structured, the way it's written, the way it's directed, but I prefer to see Promising Young Woman in there because it's a movie that actually is about something. It has something to say. It's relevant and all that stuff.
I think they both have something to say, but very different things to say.
Yeah.
All right, next category.
Yeah, do it.
All right, let's go for Best Performance by an Actress in a Motion Picture Drama. We've got Viola Davis for Ma Rainey, Andra Day for The United States vs. Billie Holiday, Vanessa Kirby for Pieces of a Woman, Frances McDormand for Nomadland, and Carey Mulligan for Promising Young Woman. The spot I lost out on here with was I had Zendaya in there, so I guess Day took that spot for me, but the rest of them seemed pretty spot on to what I was predicting. I
had Sophia Loren in there because I thought this is the foreign press. This is the foreign press. And it's actually, it's a great performance. It's a good film, great performance. And I just thought, because she's a legend, because it's the foreign press, I thought that she was in. And yes, Andra Day did take that spot. And Hulu just showed that movie like what, a week and a half ago. So boy, did they just hit the sweet spot to get those voters.
I have a question for you guys to jump off of that because Hulu just showed that movie and Warner Brothers also just showed Judas and the Black Messiah. And I thought that would have gotten more nominations than just Daniel Kaluuya.
I agree. Jeff, what do you think?
I wasn't a big fan of Judas, and I'm not surprised that they didn't go for that, particularly if they didn't go for One Night in Miami and Ma Rainey, which I think are just better movies. But they also blew off Da 5 Bloods today. That seemed like that was the big outcry that it was snubbed across the board. I thought that was better than Judas and the Black Messiah. So that one just didn't do it for me, although I understood why Daniel was nominated.
Perri, you said something before when we were discussing Best Picture Drama about movies that just kind of got overlooked for the Globes, but will have a strong showing for the Oscar nominations. And I think that is especially going to happen this year for starters, because the whole release schedule is all out of whack. All the qualifications, deadlines being pushed back 2 months from the end of December to the end of February. And there are going to be so many movies that are just now starting to kind of get seen. Specifically, you just brought up, Daniel Kaluuya only, being the only presence for Judas and the Black Messiah. Well, it drops on HBO Max, I think, next week. So maybe that'll start to have a stronger showing. The other film that did have one showing that I was grateful for, but I think will have a stronger showing at the Academy Awards, particularly with screenplay and maybe Best Picture, is I Care a Lot with Rosamund Pike. I love that movie to pieces. I know we all saw it from the Toronto Film Festival. I thought that was friggin' awesome. It drops on Netflix on February 19th. That's 2 weeks from now. And I think once people really see that, they're going to be like, holy moly, this movie is amazing.
This is on the list. I haven't seen it.
Oh my God, you're going to like it.
I mean, I know all about that project because I tracked it for a long time. But I still haven't seen it. I don't think that's going to get a lot of love, though, Scott. I think it's just going to be too recent. I don't think any of these actually recent movies like Little Things or Judas are going to get a lot of love. I think we're looking at an Oscars race where I thought Nomadland was the front runner, but One Night in Miami and Ma Rainey are 2 and 3 there, and they weren't nominated today. So right. you could have the Best Picture winning and not even nominated for a Golden Globe.
But I think when it comes to Best Picture, like for the Oscars, I think the 2 real front-runner contender, or 3 rather, the 3 front-running contenders here for Best Picture at the Oscars are Nomadland, Chicago 7, Trial of the Chicago 7, and actually One Night in Miami. I think those are the 3 sure thing Best Picture nominees.
I mean, I don't disagree with you. Maybe it's my own personal bias that I preferred Ma Rainey to Trial of the Chicago 7, but I always knew that would be a serious contender. I think you're probably right that those are the top 3.
I still think you could say all 4 of those are sure things at this point, though.
With Promising Young Woman in the 4 spot, yeah.
All right, take it next, Perri.
All right, next one here. I have so much to say about Little Things, by the way, but we're going to wait on that one. Best performance by an actor in a motion picture drama. We have Riz Ahmed in Sound of Metal, Chadwick Boseman in Ma Rainey, Anthony Hopkins in The Father, Gary Oldman in Mank, and Tahar Rahim in The Mauritanian. Yes. When I saw his name on the list, that made me so incredibly happy. I think I had Tom Hanks maybe in my 5 spot because, HFPA, they like him. But ever since I first saw The Mauritanian, I cannot stop talking about how good he is in that role. He's one of the ones that is definitely on the bubble for the Oscars that really does deserve that nomination.
I listen, Perri, I agree with you 100%. I thought Tahar Rahim was magnificent in that film. It is a physically grueling performance, an emotionally grueling performance. And I like the movie overall. And I love Jodie Foster. I mean, she was nominated too. But the number 5 spot for me was the single acting nomination that I thought was going to be a sure thing. And that was Delroy Lindo for The Five Bloods.
By the way, I only say that I had Tom Hanks in my 5 spot because I had Delroy Lindo in my 1 spot.
Yeah. I mean, come on. I mean, like if there was ever a sure thing for a nomination, like that was not just the performance of Delroy Lindo's lifetime. That was the performance of any lifetime. I mean, like that was magnificent. Why didn't he get nominated? Why didn't The Five Bloods get any nominations? That's a snub.
I mean, maybe I don't know. Let me ask you: do you think it's because they didn't think he was a lead? Do you think it's a placement thing?
That's a good question. I mean, it's an ensemble film, but I think that he's on screen enough for it to be deemed as a lead. It could go either way, but let's put it this way: it's not a lead. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, it's not like he's like in it for 5 minutes.
I thought the snub was egregious. I had Delroy Lindo as like number 3 on my list of best actors. So I was very surprised to not see him today. And I think it really does just boil down to they just didn't like The Five Bloods. It just wasn't for them.
The only other thing that I could think might have played a factor is that The Five Bloods is one of the few movies that we're talking about that came out a long, long time ago. Maybe the gap between its release and nomination time was just too significant for them.
Well, that's that look. I mean, it feels like, especially over the last year, Perri and Jeff, the last year feels like 10 years. And for a movie to drop on Netflix, I think it was like May or June. That does feel like a long time ago. Maybe they just forgot about it. I mean, I find that hard to believe because it was still very much in the conversation, especially during award season.
I'm thinking now, though, about Palm Springs, which got some love, and that came out a while ago. And then I go to this next. What if Netflix just isn't pushing it as hard as, let's say, Mank and the Trial of the Chicago 7? What if it's just being overshadowed in the campaign?
Well, Jeff, what do you think of that?
I think that's very possible. I think that's the problem with having so many contenders is you're just, pulled in all these different directions. And you really, I think as Netflix found out last year with Marriage Story and Irishman, like you have to put your chips into like one basket. You can't just like sprinkle them everywhere. And yeah, they just have a lot of contenders this year in addition to Ma Rainey, So.
Yeah, well, but you know what? I do feel strongly like, if you're in a situation with that, like Amazon, with Borat or Hulu now with Palm Springs and Billie Holiday, you have a couple of really, really, really strong Oscar contenders. Or like last year with Netflix, like you said, Jeff, and now this year with Netflix, where they have so many movies and they're just kind of throwing so much against the wall to see what sticks. And maybe, The Five Bloods didn't. But and I think it is actually a detriment to have so many contenders and just be like, all right, whatever it takes, we're gonna get a Best Picture win this year. But I do have to say, I don't know. I feel like maybe there's not a lot of critical love for the Mauritanian, but I did like the movie a lot, and I thought he was great. I thought that she was great too.
Is there not a lot of love from critics for that movie?
Well, I don't know. I'm just not hearing anyone talk about it really.
Fair, yeah. I guess I'm not either. I haven't really looked up any reviews of it, but I don't know. I remember being blown away the first time I watched it.
Yeah.
All right. Also, here's another thing to add to Netflix's campaign push right now. It brings us to the best motion picture musical or comedy category, which includes The Prom and also Palm Springs, Music, Hamilton, and Borat subsequent movie film. I just want to get the obvious out of the way first. What the fuck is Music? Where did that come from?
Never heard of it before.
Never heard of it, and it opens next Friday, the 12th.
I do, for whatever reason, I do remember the poster. When I looked it up after the announcement, I'm like, that looks kind of familiar, but I still didn't know anything about it. And I think in Adam's Snubs article, Snubs and Surprises article, he said something like it's only been released in Australia, I believe. And then, like you said, Mantz, it is coming out here soonish. But
we haven't gotten the publicity emails yet. I'm sure we'll get an onslaught now that they have this nomination.
So I have a question then.
Yeah.
What studio is even behind this film?
It's Vertical Entertainment. I see like a third of all of Vertical's movies, by the way.
So did Vertical Entertainment specifically say we're going to go after the HFPA and nothing else? Because, through, let's say, BFCA or any other organization I'm a part of, it's been radio silent from that film.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, but how did they see it? I mean, like, I never even got an alert from an agency, a PR agency, to even like announce like the poster or that there's a junket or whatever. And it's February 12th. That's crazy.
Good for them. Good for Vertical though, for being that scrappy underdog that gets a nomination for their movie, even though none of us have heard of it and it's most likely terrible.
I love it. But motion picture comedy. So listen, I thought Borat, a subsequent movie film, for simplicity, we're just going to call it Borat 2. So, first time I saw the movie, I thought it was okay. I didn't feel like it was as fresh and as new and as different and as just shocking to me as the first movie, which came out in 2006. But when it finally dropped, because I saw it early and then it dropped and then the whole election thing got underway. I grew to appreciate and love Borat 2 more and more as time passed on. And I think actually, not only does it deserve this nomination, I think it's the front runner to win. What do you think about that, Perri?
I think that might be a stretch. I do feel strongly about the movie. I really did dig it. And I think it had enough of a connection to the first to feel like they were part of the same universe, but it also explored new territory. And I think it was a mighty bold swing, well worth taking. But I think Palm Springs is going to come out on top. That's been a very, very good, loud campaign. And I don't know. I think that one's going to run away with it.
You don't think Hamilton's going to win?
No. What, you think Hamilton's going to win?
Why not?
The Hamilton release, and granted, I know we're talking about the Golden Globes, so a lot of these rules go out the window. But Hamilton feels like too unique of a release. It's not necessarily a new movie, and
they filmed the stage play. It's not going to win.
I think that they want Lin-Manuel Miranda up there instead of Andy Samberg.
Do they care when the attendees can't even come to the ceremony?
Yeah.
Well, okay, touche.
There you go. But Perri, I hope you are right, because I love Palm Springs. It's one of my favorite movies of 2020. I've been sort of banging that drum for a while that it was worthy to get nominated for Best Picture and Best Actor for Andy Samberg, which he got. Kristen Milioti should have been nominated because she's just as crucial to that film as he is, if not more so, because of the depth of her role. But nothing would make me happier, really, truly, than to see Palm Springs win Best Picture, musical or comedy. I think it's a smart film. It's clever. It has a lot of depth, a lot of heart. It's funny. The two of them are so great together, and it's only 90 minutes.
Can you imagine if music wins? All right, next one.
Wait. You know what got snubbed in this category? Does anything come to mind?
I think I had On the Rocks on my list.
Yeah, mine too.
Fair. Where's Staten Island?
Oh,
I considered putting that in the mix.
No mix?
I did really like the movie, but it felt like an outlier.
I thought it was fine. I thought it was fine. Okay. I mean, I was excited to see it at South by Southwest. And as we all know, Perri, especially you, we were packing our bags to go, and then South by Southwest was canceled. But when I watched King Staten Island at home, I just didn't feel. I thought it was fine. I thought that Pete Davidson actually gave a good performance, but I didn't think that nothing about the film really struck me as like awards worthy, and it did feel too long.
I just expected to see that one, but hey, music can't account for that one.
I think it did have a chance. All right, we are at Best Performance by an Actress in a Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy. Maria Bakalova for Borat 2, Kate Hudson for Music, Michelle Pfeiffer for French Exit, Rosamund Pike for I Care a Lot, and Anya Taylor-Joy for Emma.
I'm so
surprised.
I'm thrilled that Rosamund Pike got nominated. I had her on my list, whatever the list that was, that she would get nominated. And I think that, like I said, I think that the movie's going to get a whole lot more love, especially when.
Is it a comedy?
Is it a Yeah, it's a comedy.
Okay.
Oh yeah. It's a dark comedy. It's a very razor sharp satire, but it's a lot of fun. I mean, it has some serious moments, but it is definitely a comedy, and it is a comedy with a strong voice. And I had her down. I felt like, well, maybe not a whole lot of people saw it yet, but I think enough people will have seen her to put her on the list. I'm surprised that Meryl Streep did not get nominated here. What do you think of that, Perri?
I think it was the right move. I'm one of the folks out there who did enjoy The Prom, but I don't think it's an award-worthy movie. And, I thought that just because we're talking about the Golden Globes, that Meryl Streep was a shoo-in no matter what. But I thought it was most likely going to be Meryl getting a nomination, then Nicole Kidman, and I didn't even consider, not to jump around here, James Corden whatsoever. And he's the one who got nominated.
So I know you're talking about Meryl and The Prom, but was Let Them All Talk a comedy, not a drama? Is that what it was considered?
I would say that was a comedy. I mean, it was funny. Yeah, it's not serious to the level where there's no question that it's.
Now that you say it, that doesn't seem to be on anyone's radar as far as I can tell, or at least I'm just limited right now to going through my Gold Derby and seeing where things rank depending on who has whatever on their lists.
The snub that in this category that I wish hadn't happened is Julia Louis-Dreyfus in Downhill, which I saw at Sundance last year and quite liked. But again, Kate Hudson.
It seems like we're the only two people that really liked it.
I liked it. I dug it. You know, I enjoyed it when I saw it at Sundance, but it wasn't a movie that I was itching to see again.
I was a little surprised not to see Rashida Jones in the mix here too, but apparently On the Rocks just didn't happen here.
Yeah, On the Rocks, but it didn't get the picture, and Bill Murray didn't get. I feel, you know what? Maybe not enough people have Apple TV Plus. You know, it's not on the level of Netflix or even Amazon or Hulu for that matter. It's closer.
It's just about getting 80 people to watch it. I mean, it can't be hard.
Oh, that's true. That's true. But Kristen Milioti, that was. How do you nominate Andy Samberg and not nominate Kristen Milioti? I mean, she absolutely deserves to be there. It's all or nothing for me with that movie because it's the two of them. Absolutely.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that one. And that brings us to Best Performance by an Actor in a Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy. Sacha Baron Cohen for Borat 2, James Corden for The Prom, Lin-Manuel Miranda for Hamilton, Dev Patel for The Personal History of David Copperfield, and Andy Samberg for Palm Springs.
All right. I feel like, I mean, James Corden nominated for The Prom, whatever. Like, really? I mean, a lead? That was a supporting performance.
Yeah.
But also... Leslie Odom Jr. should have been nominated for Hamilton. He took that spot. And I got to say, between Sacha Baron Cohen and Andy Samberg, who wins?
I think Sacha wins.
Yeah.
I'd
be rooting for Andy a little more, but I think it would be Sacha. And I'm with you, Mantz. I had Leslie Odom Jr. in there instead of, I don't know why I'm saying instead of, I just have his name next to Dev Patel right now. I guess because Dev Patel was the biggest surprise to me.
Yeah.
I didn't see that movie making enough noise to even get any consideration whatsoever, but I'm glad it did because he's excellent in it. And the movie is kind of underrated. I feel like no one's seen it.
You know, that movie had its world premiere at the Toronto Film Festival in 2019. So you're talking about a film that, I mean, hasn't really made a whole lot of noise since then. I mean, it opened towards the end of the summer. Searchlight put it out, and then it, went on demand, but whatever, like the month later. But I just feel I guess when it comes to musical or comedy, there's
thin pickings.
I was going to say slim pickings. Thank you. Yes. All right. What do we got? Perri?
All right, next one here. We are moving into Best Motion Picture Animated. It is The Croods: A New Age, Onward, Over the Moon, Soul, and Wolfwalkers. I'm so mad at myself. I'm busy last night going through my Gold Derby list, and for one of the spots, I forget what I took out now. But I was thinking to myself, they're either going to go for a big studio movie in this spot, and it's going to be a random thing like The Croods or Trolls. And I sat there debating. And then I think I wound up chickening out and putting whatever that other movie back that I can't think of the title right now. But that made me go 4 for 5 in the topic.
Oh, was it the Willoughbys?
Wait, what? It's not Onward, Over the Moon, Soul, or Wolfwalkers. No, I put the Willoughbys. That's
the Willoughbys. Yeah, Willoughbys.
Which I loved, and I think that deserves to be in here. But I knew I should have switched to Trolls or the Croods.
Yeah, Willoughby's was my number 5 spot. The Croods just felt like a very big, broad kind of mainstream movie. Something that DreamWorks would put out, which I think it is a DreamWorks movie. But Soul, bye everyone else, bye Onward, bye Over the Moon, bye Wolfwalkers. Soul just is such an amazing film. It's one of Pixar's best. It's their best movie since Inside Out. I mean, that movie just crushed.
You think it's a done deal? You think the race is over, Mantz?
For animated feature?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think you might be right.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't disagree that Soul is the clear front runner because when we're talking about that even getting a Best Picture nomination, but I thought Onward was better than Soul.
Did you really?
No.
What about you, Perri? What do you think?
I preferred Soul, but Onward isn't that far behind for me. I really liked Onward. I don't think that one got the credit it deserved.
I liked Onward a lot. I think it came out in March. It came out. Onward was
It was one of the last.
Yeah. Onward was the last movie I saw in theaters before theaters were shut down. And actually, if you go to the Grove, the theater, the marquee, like it still looks like it's March of 2020 because it has Sonic the Hedgehog,
Invisible Man.
Oh no!
It has Onward. It has the Invisible Man.
Blood, whatever the hell it was.
Was it
Bloodshot?
The Hunt? Yeah.
Bloodshot, The Hunt. I think The Hunt was the last movie that I saw in theaters.
Oh my God! I can't believe it's been almost a year. That's crazy. No, Soul is like this right.
Yeah,
Okay. None of the smaller films you think it can contend with it, right?
No, absolutely not. No.
Okay.
I think like if anything, maybe Wolfwalkers. There seems to be a fairly strong contingent behind that one, and I know they're pushing it real hard, but I don't know. Soul feels too obvious, and it's so widely beloved. There were so many people that had it on their best movie of the year list, and I think it just really struck a deeply personal chord with a lot of people.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, look, I think the film resonated more because of the year that everybody went through, and the fact that Disney Plus put it on the service. They put it on Disney Plus instead of putting it in theaters or holding it. And it's like and they put it on Disney Plus for free to subscribers. They didn't do what they did with Mulan, where they put it on Disney Plus, but you still had to pay a $30 premium. So right. I thought that was like that was a gift to get that movie on Christmas Day on Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm. All right, now we have hit the Best Motion Picture Foreign Language category. We have another round: La Llorona, The Life Ahead, Minari, and Two of Us.
Oh, okay. Jeff, what do you think here?
I mean, I think it's between Minari and another round, and I think it ultimately will go to Minari. I think at the HFPA, not that they'll be, guilted into it after giving that movie. I mean, listen, it was in accordance with its rules, which have been in place for a long time. I don't think that the rules make much sense because there are many movies that are more American than Minari. But yeah, I think Minari is going to win on its merits.
I love Minari. I mean, I loved Another Round, but I think that Minari is this year's The Farewell. And, you have the scene-stealing grandmother in the film. It's a film about the American dream, which in some ways is very similar to another film, a very independent film that I loved, which was First Cow. But Minari, I think that's the winner here. Perri, what about you?
I'm gonna be real mad if Minari doesn't win, but yeah. I feel like a jerk saying that because admittedly I haven't seen the others yet. I do know I really need to watch Another Round. But Matt Donato in particular is going to be real mad when I tell him I haven't seen La Llorona yet because he's been talking about that for way too long and I just haven't gotten around to it. But now, all four of these are at the top of the list for me.
Absolutely.
All right. We are up to Best Performance by an Actress in a Supporting Role in Any Motion Picture. Glenn Close for Hillbilly Elegy, Olivia Colman for The Father, Jodie Foster for The Mauritanian, Amanda Seyfried for Mank, and Helena Zengel for News of the World. She was a nice surprise. I was glad to see her honored because I think I had, if not her, either Ellen Burstyn, who is a surprise, I think, snub here, and Nicole Kidman in this category.
Yeah, I think Ellen Burstyn is the big surprise here because, she kind of stole the movie a little bit from, what's her name? Oh my God, I'm blanking.
Vanessa Kirby.
I didn't say she stole the movie from Vanessa Kirby, but she's a scene stealer at the very least.
Okay, she's a scene stealer. Thank you. Yes, it was a bravura performance for Ellen Burstyn. I'll tell you, when Helena Zengel, I feel like there's always somebody like a young actor that like a newcomer, like a Haley Joel Osment, somebody who just comes along and kind of makes a strong impact for their first like big film. And I actually had Helena Zengel down to get nominated. Who I did not have down is Glenn Close. I hated that movie. I hated Hillbilly Elegy. Oh, that movie was awful.
I mean, people know I reviewed it on this channel. I didn't really like it either, but I think it's a case where Glenn Close gave her all to that role, and I think she was delivering good work, but I couldn't fully appreciate it because I didn't love the movie that was happening around her. But she is very good in the film for whatever that was at that point.
But I just felt like the movie was so over the top and manipulative and cliched, and that it actually took away from maybe sort of the little things that I liked about it. So I mean, look, I love Glenn Close. I mean, I famously predicted that she was going to win Best Actress for The Wife, and it went to Olivia Colman. There was a bet with someone else on this screen that I lost. That was a whole long time ago, but I'm glad that I'm glad that the three of us have a history. Okay. This is like, we have this history. Hey, remember that season of FYC when you lost? Oh yeah. Well, remember that season of FYC when I won?
I do. Well, it's all going to come down to this season, Scott Mantz. Listen, Glenn Close, she does the most acting, right, in this category. Wouldn't you say? It's like the biggest of the performances, and so you just have to be careful of that, because I think this is the weakest category this year, whether it comes to the Globes or the Oscars. I struggled to even find 5 people to fill out a category with, and I certainly wasn't even thinking of someone like Jodie Foster. I mean, is Amanda Seyfried really going to win this?
I don't know. Maybe the HFPA really loves Glenn Close. I mean, how about that?
Olivia Colman. I mean, it seems like they really like the father. I just have a hard time, because I know I said weeks ago, they're not giving an Oscar to Amanda Seyfried. They can't be giving a Golden Globe to Amanda Seyfried, are they?
I don't know. At this point, given the way the category looks, I'm thinking, and also because, again, I think they're going to be very supportive of Mank. I
think Seyfried's the front runner right now, which is why I'm just like, really?
It's really but also I think some of the problems with this category and it appearing weak is that certain individuals who might be in this category are in the other Best Actress category, like Maria Bakalova.
Yeah.
When we're talking about the Oscars, I've got her as a sure thing there.
I think Dominique Fishback is someone to really watch out for in Judas.
Without a doubt.
He should be here.
I
didn't love that movie. She's very good.
I think she's right on the bubble as far as Oscar nominations go, and I am keeping my fingers crossed that she gets pushed firmly into that category.
All right, what else you got there, Perri?
Let's see where we're at. It is Best Performance by an Actor in a Supporting Role in Any Motion Picture. Sacha Baron Cohen for The Trial of the Chicago 7, Daniel Kaluuya for Judas and the Black Messiah, Jared Leto for The Little Things, Bill Murray for On the Rocks, Leslie Odom Jr. for One Night in Miami.
All right, back up, Miss Perri. Normal Activity.
I'm sorry, that movie stinks.
That big sigh.
That movie stinks. I watched it. So I was in a bad mood, full disclosure, because we lost power because of the blizzard, and I was all excited to watch more Sundance screeners, and then I couldn't watch them because we had no internet, so we had to bust out a DVD, and my folks wanted to watch The Little Things, and I was into it at the very beginning. I was kind of hoping it would be another Zodiac, and man, that movie just dragged on and on. I don't think any of the characters' decisions were justified. They're borderline ridiculous. And then in the end, what did I get from that? Literally, they just caused their own problems.
I got to say, first of all, of all the overlooked actors in supporting actor, at least, on my list, Mark Rylance for Chicago 7, David Strathairn for Nomadland, Chadwick Boseman, maybe... What? You
haven't even said the name yet.
I know.
What are you talking about?
One very obvious name.
What? Oh, Kingsley Ben-Adir for One Night in Miami. He played Malcolm X. I thought he was fantastic in that movie, and I thought that he should have gotten nominated over Leslie Odom Jr. for that film. Well, Jeff, all right, what do you got? Okay,
Paul Raci from Sound of Metal is winning the Oscar this year, and
I got him right here.
But he wasn't one of the 5 runners-up that you mentioned. Paul Raci, you could even make an argument he was better than Riz Ahmed in that movie. I wouldn't necessarily make it But you could make that argument.
I have another one that seemed like it could have had a good shot. Stanley Tucci in Supernova. He's great.
He's great in that. That's a great movie. But again, you know what? It just kind of opened a week ago on demand. Supernova, a terrific film, absolutely worth the premium VOD price.
It's actually not available yet. I don't think it's available until February 16th on VOD.
Is that right?
I think if I remember, I have a lot of dates in my head right now. I might have it wrong, but I'm pretty sure that one's not out.
Where was Chadwick in this?
Chadwick was on my list. He was on. I had a bunch of also, runners.
I know, and I was freaking out during them. But Chadwick Boseman, I think was a snub in here. But again, Defy Bloods just got snubbed across the board. They just didn't go for it.
Nothing for Defy Bloods. That's
he could get it.
Yeah, that's.
Right. What else?
That's a surprise. I mean, Defy Bloods might come up in this next category too, because we're up to Best Director. We have Emerald Fennell for Promising Young Woman, David Fincher for Mank, Regina King for One Night in Miami, Aaron Sorkin for The Trial of Chicago 7, and Chloe Zhao for Nomadland. I was a little surprised that Spike Lee didn't pop up in this category, but I'm so excited about the milestone of having 3 female directors in this category that I've kind of blocked out any other issue I've had with it. Promising Young Woman, I'm so excited about all the love that one's getting, and I'm hoping that all the love it got at the Golden Globes actually does wind up influencing things like the Oscars, because Emerald Fennell should be in there too.
Yes, I agree completely. I love that Promising Young Woman had such a strong showing during the nominations for the Golden Globes, and I think the hits will keep going for that film going into the Oscar nominations next month. But surprised that Spike Lee didn't get nominated. Regina King, she gets nominated, but her movie doesn't get nominated for Best Picture Drama. I don't know. David Fincher. I mean, obviously the HFPA loves him, and I'm sure obviously the Academy will love him too. But again, it's a movie I tried watching twice. I gave it a second chance, and it just, it missed the mark for me.
Minari is the movie that I think is missing from this category. I think Lee Isaac Chung did a beautiful job here, and I was actually a little surprised that Emerald got in. As much as I love that movie, Mank is one where even though I didn't like the movie, I always thought Fincher's going to get nominated for this because it does sort of have the most style, or the things that they're looking for.
Yeah, I still don't think he should be in the mix here for this one. All right. We are going on to Best Screenplay, where we have more love for Promising Young Woman. We've got Mank, Trial of Chicago 7, The Father, and Nomadland.
Again, Mank. I'm just going to say it again.
No, yeah.
Should I watch it a third time? Perri, if you tell me to watch Mank a third time. Okay,
I would never.
The script is the problem. I mean, that's what's a mess. So I just very surprised at that.
I don't want to come off like I strongly dislike Mank. I don't hate this movie by any means, but I feel so strongly that it doesn't deserve to be in the conversation with the rest of these films that I think it's intensifying my disdain for it getting nominations right now.
Yes, absolutely. Now, I mean, listen, the screenplay for Promising Young Woman was spectacular. That was just an amazing film. And Jeff, you and I were at that screening that morning. We got in line early to get a good seat after the premiere the night before. Just had such a great reaction on social media, and that movie just rocked my world. That Promising Young Woman and Palm Springs were the two. Well, and The Father were the 3 best movies that I think were at Sundance last year. But I'm a little surprised that One Night in Miami did not get a screenplay nomination because it's just I love One Night in Miami, and I feel like it should have gotten more love than it did.
Yep.
I mean, do they favor original screenplays here rather than adapted screenplays, you think?
I was just wondering that, and I was looking at the list, and I was trying to figure out how many of the play adaptations got in, and I guess it's...
Chicago 7's a book. Nomadland's a book. The Father is a play.
Okay, so no.
Yeah. Promising Young Woman and Mank are original screenplays. The other three are adapted.
Got it.
All right, our last two categories, I'm going to bunch them up because they're music related. For Best Original Score, we've got The Midnight Sky, Tenet, News of the World, Mank, and Soul. And then for Best Original Song, we've got Fight for You from Judas and the Black Messiah, Hear My Voice from The Trial of the Chicago 7, Speak Now from One Night in Miami, and Tigress and Tweed from The United States versus Billie Holiday. I am so upset that one song from Eurovision that I can't pronounce did not
Jaja Ding Dong
nominated. Well, I love Jaja Ding Dong, but no, the one that Rachel McAdams sings.
Oh,
it's so good. It's so good. And like I know we get a laugh out of Eurovision because it's silly and it's supposed to be silly, but I am a very, very big believer that it genuinely does deserve an Academy Award nomination for that song.
I think when it comes to score, I think that the Pixar movies have fared pretty well with score. I think, and song actually. So, I think that Soul probably is the front runner here for best score. For best song, I got to give that more thought.
Song, I have no opinions on. I don't think most people will care about the song this year. Score, listen, I grew up worshiping Nine Inch Nails and Trent Reznor. All the scores are starting to sound the exact same. The Soul, I mean, it is good. I like that style of music, but it all sounds the exact same.
Wait, you think Soul sounds the same as other Pixar scores?
Yeah, as Mank and every other score that Trent Reznor does.
Soul sounds like Social Network? I don't think so.
I very much disagree with that on Soul, because Soul has that unique quality where you kind of have the two scores operating at the same time and weaving together at the perfect moments, the score from the soul world and also the jazz heavy composition that takes place in the real world. And I think the fact that you've got both of those things working real well on their own and then coming together quite seamlessly, I think that's going to push that one well above the rest of the pack.
I missed the Minari score. That should have been.
Minari score is quite good.
No, man.
Beautiful score. We did it. I can't believe we got the. I'm 2 minutes late for my next thing, but we got through all of the categories.
Before we go, I just want to say, I'm very excited that FYC starts next Wednesday on Collider Video. We're gonna it's going to be a very interesting season, but we're going to make it our best one yet. And while I'm here, I do want to just say, just check out my YouTube channel. I have my own YouTube channel. It's just called Scott Mantz. I've been doing videos on there now about a year, my own content. I really hope you like the video content. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Scott Mantz. And please check out the return of Collider FYC next Tuesday. So excited.
I have a link to Scott's YouTube channel in the description section of this video, and also a link to Scott's Twitter and Jeff's Twitter as well. Is there anything you want to promote before we take off, Jeff?
Snyder Cut podcasts on Thursdays. I just posted the 2021 movie blog on theinsnyder.blogspot.com. And again, Scott Mantz on YouTube. What a great channel.
Thank you so much, Jeff. That means a lot.
I will third that. Go check out Mantz's YouTube channel. And a big thanks to everybody for hanging out with us. We got a whole, hold on. Can't leave without shouting out Caleb for the super chat. I feel like I have to do this. Jeff, give me a fantasy football tidbit. Every time Caleb does a super chat, we talk fantasy football for a quick second.
I think that Tom Brady wins the Super Bowl in the 2 minutes of the fourth quarter, and he throws a touchdown pass to Rob Gronkowski.
I'm still going to go with my prediction that it's a blowout, and Mahomes and the Chiefs absolutely crush the Bucs.
My prediction is that the commercials are going to be really interesting this year.
I think, Mantz, you're the only
3D Doritos. Sponsor Perri's podcast.
All right, we're at it.